Important updates. Last time I checked in with y'all, I was at home, getting all moved into my new place. I went back out on the road. I did a short run from Oregon down to the Bay Area, and then another short run back up to Klamath Falls, Oregon. That I picked up this load that I have now, which is beams, floor joists, 60-foot long load, so that was kind of fun. I had footage of most of that. What ended up happening was I was able to stop through the house. Oh, when I picked up that load that night, I was able to stop at the house, which was Friday. No, what am I talking about? It was Wednesday, and while I was at the house, the missus and I took the Rugrats out to the park. I was chasing them around, doing all kinds of crazy stuff. I had my phone in my back pocket, and then I destroyed that phone somehow in the process of that. Like afterwards, we decided to go get ice cream, and I pulled my phone out of my pocket, and it was cracked. Not only was it cracked, it was like bent in the form of like a C. Like it had contoured to the shape of like my glutamus. I was like, dang. And then I was like, well, that's life. And then my wife was like, isn't it kind of important that you have your phone before you head back out on the road? And I was like, oh, shoot. Kind of is, on account of I have to use that for my job and everything. So then she was like, remember how when we got your phone, they offered us insurance and you were like, I don't need that. And I was like, I do remember that. And she was like, and remember how I went ahead and got it anyways because I'm smarter than you? And I was like, oh, point taken. So she got on the phone with those people, and they went ahead and sent me a replacement. But I had to leave, I was tight on time. I was already, like, not really pushing my luck to go home. But, like, since I did go home, I really needed to make sure to be on schedule the rest of the way out. And then I ended up trying to figure out this phone situation was stressing me out. I didn't really get much sleep that night. And and I ended up having to get back out on the road, And then, so anyways, the phone wasn't going to be there until Friday or what have you, which is today. Today is Friday. Am I making any sense yet? Holy smokes. So, since it was Wednesday and I couldn't sit around till Friday to wait for a new phone, and then my wife was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, I don't know. You're the solution person. I'm the one that creates the problems for you to solve. And that's how our marriage works. And so she was working on that solution, and she was like, what if you just go in the morning and, go in, talk to whoever you got to talk to in the office there. And I'm fortunate that I now live near my terminal where I could go do that and just be like, hey, So I was like, how does that conversation go? I go up to my dispatcher, be like, hey, I'm really stupid and I broke my phone and now I'm waiting because my phone's real important to me. More important than making money for all you all and everything. So I'm just going to go ahead and camp out here until I get a new one. And then maybe I'll make my load on time. I was like, that doesn't sound good at all. So she's like, well, I have this old phone lying around that if we could get it working, you can use that and get on your way and do your thing. And I was like, awesome. So we ran down to like the store that's open late at night. It was like 10:30 or something like that, and they close at like 11. And so we walk in and they're already doing the thing where they're like, just so you know, you got to get the heck out of here soon. And we're like, we've been part in business. So she bought me like this prepaid plan, got this old phone working, and right about the time we got that all figured out, it's like, oh, look at the time. I had to leave. I had to drive a few more hours, to keep up on my time schedule. Well, I hadn't slept hardly at all. And so I drove out, and I wanted to get a little further, but, I was to the to the point, tired wise, where I was like, it's not safe for me to be driving anymore. And that's one thing I've learned over time is you make a real hard line. Like, you do not want to push it. That's how a lot of bad accidents happen. Driver fatigue is like the leading cause of truck accidents. So I was like, I'm not gonna be Mr. Mr. Badass out here just plowing through. So I stopped, and I was like, I can stop, and I'm on split sleeper now. I'll just do a 2-hour nap. It'll get back out on the road. And I woke up from that 2-hour nap, and I was like, man, I feel great. And then I like checked the time, and I was like, that's because it's been 5 hours, and I didn't have the extra 3 hours to spare, and I didn't make it quite far enough for that to work out. So then I had to call in and be like, hey, remember me? Yeah, well, I messed everything up, and I'm probably not going to make it on time. And I started doing the math, and then I called in to my driver coach, and I was like, hey, can you do some math for me? And they're like, our math also says that you're not doing so great. And I'm like, gosh darn it. And I was hoping that they knew the Common Core deal or whatever, and the math would be better, but the math is the math. So I got to call the CSR, the dispatcher for this load, and I was like, yeah, so I'm real stupid. And I was like, I messed up my hours pretty good. And he was like, why did you do that? And I was like, because I'm dumb. And he was like, oh, yeah, well, I understand that. And I was like, thought you might. And then he was like, and I told him, like, I don't think I'm going to make it on Friday for that delivery. I'm going to be like 50 miles short. And he's like, well, can you try? And I was like, well, I'm still trying. Like, I didn't pull over and admit defeat. Anyways, long story short, I broke my phone. I'm 340 miles out. 340 miles away from my delivery there in Colorado. And I'm on my 2-hour break of my split sleeper right now. Feeling pretty good. Got really good sleep this last rest period that I took, so I'm fired up. But 345 miles. No, 340 miles. And 5 hours and 45 minutes. So if I were to average, if my moving average for that trip remained at 60 miles per hour, I could do it, which theoretically is possible. However, I do have to go down, cut over to Fort Collins and down to Denver, and that is a wee bit of a slowdown area. So anyways, down to minutes. Feeling pretty low about it because it's my own fault. I don't like to be the guy that lets my personal life interfere with production. And today I'm that guy. So I'm trying to save face and make up for it. Hopefully I can. Rant over. Oh yeah, so all the footage that I got, I had a really cool load that I took. It was Connex sea containers that I picked up at the port, and I hauled those up to Klamath Falls, Oregon. That was a fun one. And I did the videos and stuff like I do of that load, but since I decided to just totally destroy my phone going down the slides with my kids or whatever at the park, I can't show it to you. And now I'm taking videos on this super old phone, so you're welcome for that. Hope to get back to you guys soon with some more entertaining videos than me just yabbing for, where are we at? 9 minutes. Not bad, right? Oh, okay. Now you know if you've made it this far in the video. Later, guys.